Hey yo, it's your boy Icewater 815 come back at you with another video. Some of y'all know me, some of y'all don't. I'm just a little guy who got some trucks, trailers, pull mostly off the spot market. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna cap and be like I got a whole bunch of contracted freight because I don't. So you know what I mean? And I jump on here from now and then, just giving updates about the market or maybe some repair tips, just trying to put some valuable information, some positive energy into the trucking space. If you rock with me, I appreciate you. Some people might say these videos ain't for them. Hey, much respect. But this video right here is just gonna be a wrap up of 2022. I've been trying to get this video out for a while and have some problems. So with no further ado, let's get right to it. They say never. I say never tell me what to do. A person will never put you in a position above them. That's never a lie, always true. Success never comes without risk, and risk never comes without fear. YouTube is a smoke and mirror, never how it appear. All right, man. I'm just gonna start out. I'm just gonna be quick as possible with this. Hey, 2022 was an interesting year, and many of us knew that like the pricing bubble would burst when the demand returned to normal levels because of the oversaturation of equipment and the numbers of carriers who entered the industry without no prior knowledge of logistics. And no disrespect to anybody who got into the trucking game in the last 2 years and you just jumped into it because you heard it was money in it. You know, I ain't even tripping on them for making the leap because I did the same thing back in what was it 2010 I think it was. I did the same thing that they did. But I gotta point out the difference between me and the majority of people who got in during the trucking rush. And that's gonna be like when I realized it was more to running a trucking company than just picking up and delivering a load. I studied the industry and I corrected my mistakes before they became errors. You know what I mean? But I digress. You know what I mean? With that being said, I don't believe any of us factored in the weather, the government influence, and the rise in diesel prices this year. Plain and simple. I don't think none of us could have predicted that. And that's kind of how we got to where we are now, you know. But moving along, I just focus mainly on the spot market because that's what I got the most experience in. So what I want to say about the spot market and closing out this year is the spot market is really the backbone of the trucking industry when it comes to pricing, and I'll tell you why I say that. Like at some point, every company in the industry will utilize the spot market. Take for example the big 3PL companies who have like the contracted freight with that everybody trying to get. They have the freight all the small carriers want to get directly. Well, they use the spot market to move their overflow freight. Like when they got more freight than their preferred carriers could handle, or they didn't put it on their internal load board and they're not getting the freight moved fast enough, they'll move the freight to the spot market. And they also use the spot market to develop a baseline for pricing when it comes to contract negotiations. Small carriers rely on the spot market at some point, you know, within their trucking company or whatever, and to get freight. And some carriers only get freight off the spot market. Shippers also use the spot market, and this is how they kind of use the spot market. They use the spot market to make sure they're getting the best price for their contracted freight. Brokers use the spot market too. I don't want to forget about I want to forget about the brokers. You know, they use the spot market a little differently though. They use it to rob, steal, and destroy. And I'll just playing around. I'll just messing around. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of use it like the 3PL companies, with the exception of playing more games. It's probably the best way that I could put it. You see, the big 3PL, they post loads to get them moved on the spot market based on a specific profit margin, but also with the mentality of volume over pricing. The average broker posts the lows on the spot market fishing for the highest profit margin. That may go on over some of y'all heads, but y'all get it in the parking lot. If you think shippers are not paying attention to the spot market rates and renegotiating their contracted freight rates, then you probably believe you could sustain a trucking company running on $2 a mile. Moving on from my little spiel on my little soapbox on the spot market, I want to talk about the diesel prices real quick, because we actually seeing some relief at the pump as far as diesel prices coming down. And if you pay attention to oil prices, you will see that it's a direct correlation to the decline in diesel prices or what have you at the pump. To me, that's a gift and a curse, because diesel prices going down, true. But what that also affects is the fuel surcharge. And if you don't understand the fuel surcharge, it's a lot of videos out there about it. I don't think I've done one specifically about it just because there's so many videos on YouTube already about it. But what you need to understand is this. The fuel surcharge, you really only going to see, and when I say see, I mean like be able to tell what it is or know what it is on a particular load when you booking a load through a big 3PL company who are obligated to disclose the fuel surcharge. Usually what the brokers will do is just they'll just give you an all-in rate, and you really won't know what the fuel surcharge is. But a good way to tell is like if the broker really goes up like $200 or $300 on a rate, it's probably the fuel surcharge that he was taking out that he just adding back in. Probably. I ain't saying all brokers do it, but for the purpose of this video, just understand when you're dealing with the spot market, a lot of times you're not going to know what the fuel surcharge is. Sure, you could ask if you want, or they probably get a truck to the next carrier who won't ask. But anyway, what's important, what I want you to get from what the fuel surcharge means as far as the diesel prices. When the diesel prices go down, the fuel surcharge also goes down, and you kind of see a decrease in rates. So keep that in mind, you know what I mean, like moving forward. Now I want to talk about some things that you need to watch out for as we end the year and begin the next quarter. And it's some companies that I think you should be paying attention to. The fact that XPO is offering furloughs, that's interesting to me. The fact that C.H. Robinson is laying people off, Amazon is laying people off, Convoy is laying people off, who is also in some type of legal back and forth with DAT Load Board about their whole setup, but that's another story. Motive, Keep Trucking, they laying people off. The container company, Mazrick, if that's how you pronounce their name, they're laying people off. And the S&P 500 has not really been doing all that well. Those are all things that let me know that the trucking space is in trouble. Another thing that I think is going to continue to affect the trucking industry is the COVID protocol over in China is really hurting production. And we really get to see firsthand how much we rely on China. Well, we really got to see these last few years how much we really do rely on imports and oil. Well, I guess oil will be considered imports too, but kind of, sort of, whatever. Just how much we rely on imports. But what I think is interesting about everything that's happening is people who got in the trucking during the trucking rush, they getting their first real taste of how freight cycles work. Like, y'all finna see the valleys and peaks that happen in trucking, and it's going to determine if you built for this or not. Bottom line. It's going to be very difficult, so we're going to see how it play out. I have noticed that the port cities were like the last to feel the effect of the slowdown in the market. And that's why you continue to hear people in Port City say containers was doing well. I'm still doing this. I'm still eating. Yeah. But guess what though? Mm-hmm. I hear that the crickets starting to chirp on that container work. It is what it is. Fourth quarter. And speaking of fourth quarters, let me just go and touch on this before I get out of here. Fourth quarters in trucking are historically slow. And honestly, the race that I'm seeing right now, they really are starting to reflect seasonal averages. I know it's going to be hard for you new people to believe that, but take it from somebody who done been through a few seasons in trucking. Yeah. I mean, granted, the demand for goods was down this year. I ain't going to lie. It was. And we had an oversupply of equipment. We did. But what I seem to notice is that the freight volume was still higher than what I thought it would have been, given all those things. Like I still seen the loads being posted. They just were at a rate that I didn't think was in my favor. I'm just gonna put it like that. You know what I'm saying? But the Achilles heel to all this is the fact that the first quarter is normally slower than the fourth quarter of the previous year. So what am I saying? I'm saying like, hold on to the steering wheel and make sure you're in the right gear in your truck. That's what I'm saying. So the things, and make sure you got your seatbelt on too, because man, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. These are some things that I want you to look out for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to look out for brokers who don't have established credit. I don't want, no broker to run off on you after you've done a load. I want you to look out for brokers who offer LTL loads at truckload prices. You're gonna see that. I want you to look out for brokers who want to use your equipment as storage. You just pay attention to how long the freight is staying on your truck, man. It don't need to be on the truck that long. I want you to call and verify appointment times for the pickup and the delivery because it's going to be a lot of lying going on. I want you to read the fine print in the rate confirmation sheet when it comes down to detention and tracking because these brokers, they're going to play a lot of games. When freight gets slow, that's when the real shenanigans start. You thought it was some flim flam skullduggery before. Just watch what I tell you. Here's what I suggest just moving forward. Just giving y'all just my personal suggestions. Hey, look, chew the meat, spit the bones out. That's what they say. Look at where and who you made money with this year and try to strengthen that relationship. Look at where you could cut costs. Like one example would be, say you run in a lane and you usually run the toll road. Well, then look at an alternate route. May put more miles on it, may take you more time, but you may find the savings are worth it. Compare fuel cards. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're getting the best fuel discount because honestly, even with some fuel cards and the fuel discount at the major truck stops, you can do better at a mom and pop truck stop. Consider running at the night versus the day. Why do I say that? Yeah, the daytime you usually run into traffic, you run into accidents, you run into that, you burning time and you burning fuel. At night, things usually flow smoother. Just my personal opinion. It is what it is. Maybe consider downsizing the fleet. Maybe that might be an option for you. Consider partnering with other carriers in your area to try to secure some direct contracts. Leave the door open for that. And I think most importantly, what'll help everybody is focus on loads that pick up and deliver within a favorable time frame for you. Hey, look, this is your boy Icewater, man. If you made it this far in the video, I really appreciate you, man. I'm sending positive energy to everybody in the trucking industry, man. I wish y'all the best of the luck for the end of the year to the beginning of next year. And I'll see y'all in the next video. And oh yeah, it don't matter what type of truck you drive. Long as it'll deliver a load. But you ain't gonna make no money in trucking if you can't keep that left door closed. Hey, I'll see you next video, YouTube. Y'all be safe.
Been through a lot of pain in my life, and I pray the Lord take it all away.